Last and finally, this is the outdoor unit running. It's very quiet. Doesn't make much noise at all. Couple tips before we wrap this up. One is you can just make sure you tell the customers when you install them that even if sometimes they might want the room to get warmer, especially in the wintertime, if they want the room to get warmer, they might have it call for heat. Nothing, the fan inside that space might not come on, but they might hear, some noise in the refrigerant piping or inside the system. Most likely this outdoor unit's probably in a defrost, so if nothing comes out for a while, it's probably in a defrost, and after 10 minutes it probably will start throwing air again. Another thing, one of our systems is down in the basement, one's up, both the other ones are upstairs. If one's calling for heat and one's calling for cooling, whichever zone actually put the signal in first is what the system outdoor unit's gonna condition first, and then once that condition is met, then it's gonna switch over to either heat or cool for the other zone and meet that demand. So it won't actually do both at the same time, but it will, get the job done for the most part as long as it's, realistic set points. And one final thing, as far as charging this thing goes, like I said, you just have to release the charge according to Mitsubishi with this specific unit. With the other ones, you only have to, it comes pre-charged, most of them with 25 foot of line set. Usually you're going to put it within 25 feet, typically, with indoor and outdoor lengths. But there is I think it's 1.64 ounces or a little over 1.5. I don't have the paper on me, but it actually will tell you with that specific model to how to adjust. However, getting into a little bit of the service, as far as running a service call, if you think these things aren't keeping up, obviously have the customer check the filters, batteries, all that, pretty much common sense stuff, you would want to go through, obviously. But as far as checking the charge, the compressors, the outdoor fan motors, and the indoor fan motors, they're all variable speed. With this being said, it actually could be a little over a pound low or a pound and a half low, or even more than that, possibly, depending on how big the outdoor equipment is and the output demands need to be for the system. It actually, with all them things being variable like that, they actually can trick you. So, being a pound low or so, you could put your gauges on your true suction and true discharge, and your pressures could read perfectly nice and charged, but there could be an issue with the space not keeping up for the customer. If that being said, most likely there is a leak somewhere. You might not be able to tell just by looking at your gauges or reading superheat. Typically, what Mitsubishi recommends, you need around a 20 to 30 degree split between your return and supply air for heat or air conditioning. That's your relative goal. Now, overall, the best thing that you can do is, if you suspect a leak, is recover all the refrigerant, or if you don't think it's in the outdoor, pump the refrigerant down to the outdoor and isolate it, and then do a nitrogen test, pressure test it. And but as far as charging it, if you do indeed find a leak, you're probably better off, since it is 410, just recover all the refrigerant completely, and then just weigh the entire amount back in. That would be the best amount, since there's actually there's really no great way to charge these, as far as just putting in refrigerant, checking subcool superheat. Since everything's variable, it actually checks itself and makes everything, all the pressures look good enough. So if you ever have to adjust the refrigerant, I would call Mitsubishi, but for the most part you don't have to. If you do have to put refrigerant in the future, you probably had a leak, and if you're going to have to do it, I would recommend recovering all the refrigerant, and that's actually what Mitsubishi recommends, and then weighing it all back in. So, all right, that wraps it up.